Tonight, fire destroys the school on Waterhen Lake First Nation, a hub of the community. Also, a leaked government email sheds more light on the day MLA Jeremy Harrison brought a gun into the legislative building.
I just know that a demon still loom. I just hope that you don't consume.
The struggle and search for identity in a new country unveiled through song.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Wednesday, May 29th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Good evening and thank you for watching. A Northern First Nation is devastated after losing its school in a fire. People from Waterhen Lake say the building was a community hub, hosting everything from powwows to funerals. But as Kelly Provo reports, the First Nation did have concerns about fire hazards.
Felicia LaPratte recorded this video after rushing to the Wawikisik Education Center. A fire had started in the roof of the school's industrial arts shop around noon on Tuesday.
I was worried because my niece was going to school there. The flames started coming out of the sides of the, where the ceiling is. I could hear a bunch of popping noises and hear it collapsing within the building.
The fire came just one day after the high school graduation. The school went from daycare right up to grade 12. People in the community say the building was used for funerals, powwows, and other important events.
I think they tried to save it, at least save the elementary side. There was a machine in there to try cut the school in half. They were trying and they were very brave about it.
It hits us all pretty hard. I wasn't the only one who was crying. There was a lot of us that were pretty devastated.
The chief of the First Nation, Blaine Fiddler, issued a statement. He says he's already scheduled meetings with federal officials to discuss building a new school and community center. He also said the First Nation has seen the danger coming for over a decade, and there was a pressing need for necessary upgrades and replacements in building materials to meet safety standards. That was echoed by former councillor Dustin Ross Fiddler.
This was an issue that was ignored year after year. We did everything we could from the leadership point of view. We talked to everyone we could talk to, and now our community and our children have to suffer because there's nothing there for them.
It was more than just the building to the community. It was the heart of the community.
Rebuilding will take time, and until then, this First Nation is without a community hub. Kelly Provo, CBC News, Saskatoon.
An email obtained by Speaker Randy Weeks and sent to CBC reveals new details about Cabinet Minister Jeremy Harrison bringing a gun into the legislature 8 years ago. Last week, Harrison resigned as government House Leader for failing to tell Premier Scott Moe that he brought a firearm into the legislature. The email from 2016 has names redacted, but appears to be sent by the then acting Sergeant-at-Arms. It says around noon on a Thursday, a man approached the building in hunting camouflage, a hat, and carrying a gun case. Security did see it was Harrison, but it says he walked past security. The emailer made suggestions, including making sure security received notice and that they should have the ability to confiscate a weapon. It says Harrison was planning to go hunting with the then Speaker for coyotes. The opposition says the email is not consistent with Harrison's explanation.
This is a minister who has lied, who has shown terrible judgment, and instead of being forthright with the people of this province, has put on a fabrication, lied again, lied in writing, lied on camera. The Premier simply, I think, does not have a choice here. This is a question of his leadership, and this minister needs to be gone, both from Cabinet and from caucus.
In response, a spokesperson for the government said Harrison's comments in previous interviews stand. It says Harrison said security was aware that he entered the building with a properly cased gun, which is confirmed in the email. It says Harrison only recalled the incident being about 10 years ago and on a weekend. A new urgent care centre is one step closer to opening in Saskatoon. Today, despite pouring rain, the province signed an interim project development agreement with Atakakuk Cree Developments. When complete, the UCC Urgent Care Centre will provide enhanced access to quality patient care for Saskatoon residents. It will be open 24/7 and located at the former Pleasant Hill School site on Avenue S South. The proximity to St. Paul's Hospital is to help mitigate some capacity pressure in the emergency department there. The chief of Atakakuk says this agreement was 2 years in the making.
Our nation and AC Development will partner with Saskatchewan Institute of Technologies for training to ensure additional employment in the IUCC, creating a much stronger culturally represented workforce and team.
This is only possible again when we're able to, as the sign says in front of me, reinvest the proceeds of growth. As long, as we continue to have a strong, growing, vibrant economy in this province, and we're able to take those proceeds and actually reinvest them together into a facility like this that is essentially going to increase the access to not just physical health care services, but mental health and all too often subsequent addiction services as well.
Saskatoon's UCC will follow a model being developed in Regina. Health Minister Everett Hindley says there are about 130 full-time equivalent positions in Regina and expects a similar footprint in Saskatoon. Regina Centre is complete and expected to open later this summer. 3 reserves in the Touchwood Hills area are concerned about opioid use in their East Central Saskatchewan communities. Many people have died in the relatively small area due to fatal drug overdoses. And while local leadership and community members are looking for solutions, others are dealing with extreme grief. Darla Pones reports.
Jeremy Desjardins' home on Muskegon First Nation has become the go-to spot for people in the community when they need an naloxone kit.
I've already had young people come to my store and say, hey, we need some Narcan. I don't think they needed it at that time. I think they just wanted it to be safe.
Desjardins says he started offering the life-saving drug out of the makeshift store in his home after many people he knows, including his own cousins and close friends, died from opioid drug overdoses.
Used to be the norm was drinking. Now the norm is doing drugs pretty much, and it's pretty scary, so to see that happening in our community.
Desjardins says the effects of intergenerational trauma are still being felt today. Many of the people on his reserve, including him and his parents, attended the residential school located in their community. And many people are turning to hard drugs to deal with it. Touchwood Agency Tribal Council officials tell me deaths due to drug overdoses have become a regular event. Jeanette Anderson says it leaves the community in a constant cycle of never-ending grief. Anderson has been working in the Justice Department for more than 2 decades, and she's raising 3 of her great-grandchildren as a result of addiction.
There's been a lot of fatal overdoses in our communities. It's almost at least 3 funerals in a month, if not more.
Indigenous Service Canada says it's given Muskegon $125,000 to help with the opioid and addiction crisis. Chief Jamie Wolf says his First Nation will use the money to restart their on-reserve detox program. The program helps to stabilize people before they can go for further treatment, which he says has been a common barrier in his community. Darla Pones, CBC News, Regina.
The coroner's inquest into the death of Haven Dubois has entered the final stage, deliberation. Alexander Kwan has been attending the Regina inquest this week and brings us the latest.
Haven Dubois was 14 years old when he died on May 20th, 2015. That day, he was found in this creek in East Regina. Although CPR was performed, Haven was declared dead at the hospital. Police quickly ruled it was an accidental drowning with marijuana use as a factor. But his family has never believed that, campaigning for a deeper investigation. Their efforts over 9 years resulted in the coroner's inquest being held this week at the Royal Hotel in Regina. Today, 6 jurors began deliberating. They are not going to assign blame, but they will determine a cause of death and make recommendations on how similar deaths can be prevented in the future. It has not been an easy path for Haven's family, and they are not happy with how the inquest has unfolded. Haven's mother, Rochelle Dubois, has stormed out of the proceedings, and the coroner cautioned family and supporters for being vocal during testimony. The family is frustrated that many witnesses who testified say they can't remember what happened that day nearly a decade ago. Other witnesses who were set to testify were never called to speak. The coroner's counsel says they were unable to track those people down despite issuing a civil summons. The legal team representing the Dubois family has complained that the inquest lacked scope, that it prevented them from addressing the potentially larger issues, things like racism and allegations they say police failed to properly investigate. Police and medical experts have repeatedly said there is no evidence that indicates foul play had a role in Haven's death. But the family says they don't believe that everything has come out, and they say they have very little confidence it ever will. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.
In a must-win situation, the Moose Jaw Warriors came up big with a victory last night at the Memorial Cup in Saginaw, Michigan, knocking off the Quebec League champion Drummondville Voltigeurs 5-3. It was a 3-3 game late into the third period when Aiden Ziprick scored the game-winning goal shorthanded. This was his first goal in 23 playoff games this spring. It put the Warriors into the semifinals in a moment he won't forget.
Yeah, no, it's pretty special. I mean, obviously it's a big tournament right now, so obviously close game, and we needed a goal. So to get that one for the guys is just huge for me, and yeah, I'll definitely remember that for the rest of my life.
Overall, I thought really throughout the first half of the game we were really good, and we got a little pushback there and on our heels a little bit, which you expect from another team that's won a championship. So again, at the end, I just real proud of the group. Again, finding a way to do it. They never make it easy, but this group's just they're not ready to be done yet.
We're gonna have to play both. I mean, no matter what. So in the end, it doesn't really matter who we play first. We got to beat both of them. So.
The Warriors await the loser of tonight's final round-robin game between Saginaw and London. The semifinal will go Saturday night with the winner playing for the Memorial Cup Sunday afternoon. The city of Saskatoon celebrated partnerships with 8 First Nations at a special meeting and flag ceremony this morning. There are 10 urban reserves within Saskatoon's boundaries, and the ceremony was held at the beginning of this month's City Council meeting. It was done to recognize the distinct order of First Nations and Métis governments through the Treaty 6 flag and the Métis flag. We'll be back after the break.
The weather update is brought to you by Capital GMC Buick Cadillac. New truck trade-up is on now.
Our weather specialist Ethan Williams joins me now. Humid, hot. It is thunderstorm season.
Yeah, it really is. Things getting off with a bang here today in the province, and even some reports of funnel clouds. This was captured by Ashley in North Battleford a little bit earlier this afternoon. This was in the parking lot of the Walmart in that community, and this funnel cloud not touching the ground according to reports that we've seen so far, but it was quite visible in the Battlefords area a little bit earlier today, and you can actually see the cell as it moves off eastward here. It looks like it has died off a little bit as it moves generally in the area of Prince Albert. Radar's kind of been spotty from time to time this afternoon, but this is just one of many shower and thunderstorm cells that have been popping up as we continue to see a low pressure system move through the province, and that also means that we do have the chance of some severe thunderstorms in southeastern Saskatchewan tonight. Carlisle, Moosomin, Grenfell, the Weyburn, Estevan area, and just to the southeast of Regina, some storms with strong winds and large hail possible through the evening hours tonight. Also quite windy today, gusts in the 60 to 70 kilometer an hour range in many areas. Starting to die off now, but still strong along the Manitoba border. And you can see where the cold front from this system has been moving through and where showers have been falling, because we kind of have a line here where we still have warmer air off to the east. In fact, still reporting 25 at Yorkton right now, 10 degrees cooler in Kindersley, where you just saw some showers and thunderstorms move through not that long ago. This low pressure area going to continue to move through northern Saskatchewan tonight. That's going to produce those showers and storms in southeastern regions. Another low pressure area developing overnight tonight will bring some showers through central and northeastern portions of the province tomorrow. Generally unsettled with a chance of showers and storms again in south and central before we get a little bit of clearing by Friday morning, but another round of showers possible Friday afternoon as that system actually moves backward a bit in the north and brings some showers there. More substantial clearing for Saturday, though, for the southern half of the province. Still cloudy in the north, and yes, maybe even cold enough that as we start meteorological summer, possibly some flurries in far northern locations. But it'll be mostly rainfall, and for storms, we're looking at generally for 10 to 20 millimeters, maybe locally higher amounts in parts of central and northeastern regions. Storm threat for tomorrow is less than it is today, but we still could have the chance of some strong winds and some gusty conditions kind of here and there. But it will be windy even outside of those storms, still gusting 50 to 60 tomorrow, and then in central sections on Friday could be gusting 60 to 70. So for Regina, a chance of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, considerably cooler than today. Quite windy for the next few days here before temperatures rebound. Still a bit unsettled, though. For Saskatoon, similar picture. We get quite windy as we start the weekend, and then into next week, temperatures returning to normal, but still some showers here and there. So a little bit of an unsettled pattern continuing, Sam.
I'm going to watch for the thunderstorms. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Same here.
Thanks, Ethan.
You're welcome.
This technology makes the entire process seamless. This technology will assist the capacity and the traffic flow.
A gas station in the United Arab Emirates is taking a 21st century approach to bringing back full-service gas stations with robo-fuelers. It's a pilot where high-tech attendants handle everything through the use of an app, which includes removing and replacing your gas cap. The company says it's fast and environmentally friendly because it avoids spills. We'll be back after the break. A new study finds that if parents introduce peanuts to babies, it can keep them from developing an allergy. Kobina Oduro reports.
When Asher was 4 months old, his mother tried to feed him peanut butter.
It was a very, very scary, serious incident that had happened.
Within 30 seconds of being exposed, he had hives all over him, swollen lips, and respiratory distress. A call to 911 and a dose of epinephrine saved his life.
I just wanted to run out in the middle of the street and just scream. I was so scared. Being 4 months old, he couldn't talk, and I knew that he was finding it hard to breathe at that time.
But doctors say cases like his are the exception. And for most kids, introducing peanuts at an early age is the right approach.
Frequent exposure to peanut early in life was really persistent and effective, and really saved many of these children who were at high risk of having peanut allergy from having that lifelong disease.
A recent study by the National Institutes of Health in the U.S. found feeding peanut products to children regularly between infancy and the age of 5 helped reduce peanut allergies in adults by 71%.
I can't say that the rule of early introduction will work for 100%, but it works for the majority of children.
Advocacy group Allergies Quebec lists 9 foods, including eggs and dairy, that make up 90% of food allergies for school-age children. It wants to see more education for staff in schools.
Instead of banning a couple foods, we need them to start by training all the staff and giving them some tools to learn about how to prevent reaction and how to manage food allergies.
Pediatricians say it starts at home, and the best approach is to introduce peanuts in small doses, known as oral immunotherapy. That's what Finnemore is giving Asher now. And she urges parents to do research, have medicine close by, and keep a close watch for at least an hour after introducing the food. Kubino Duro, CBC News, Montreal.
5 more public school boards and 2 private schools in Ontario are joining the legal fight against social media companies. A suit against Meta, Snapchat, and TikTok was launched in March by 4 of Ontario's largest school boards. The educators say the social media platforms have rewired the way students think, behave, and learn. The allegations have yet to be proven in court. Lawsuits are also underway in the States. In total, the Ontario schools are seeking more than $6 billion in damages. And Ethan's back with one last look at your weather.
And after some potentially severe thunderstorms this evening, Regina just looking at light rain at midnight under a temperature of 15 degrees. Not going to drop much overnight. We'll be at 14 by the morning. Some clearing coming our way, but yes, those winds still a little bit gusty and likely going to continue to be gusty at times into the afternoon, 50 to 60 kilometers an hour. There is the chance of some showers and largely non-severe thunderstorms as well. For Saskatoon, partly cloudy skies by midnight. Not as much of a risk for showers and storms tonight. And then come tomorrow, 8 a.m., that cloud cover starts to build in. Those winds start to pick up. And by the afternoon, much cooler temperature-wise. We're seeing some showers and storms possible. And yes, another windy day as well for the Bridge City, Sam.
All right. Thanks, Ethan.
You're welcome.
And as May comes to a close, we're wrapping up our spotlight on artists as part of Asian Heritage Month. Our last artist created a song that recognizes his parents' struggle in coming to Canada and also reflects his own struggle and search for identity. Savan Muth, also known as Gia, spoke to us about his inspiration.
The homeland to the southeast from the sun sets. The land is a bed to the palm trees. From the beautiful stretch of the Long Beach with a calm breeze. Who are we? Anchor, the temples, the balance of what it is meant for. If we're to be the same people, then what were you sent for?
The song is called From the Womb. The song is about my family, my parents, how they survived the Khmer Rouge War between 1975 to 1979. And all of the things that they had gone through to be able to make it to Canada. And then the other half of the song is about my struggle inside of Canada, finding my identity.
We're to fit in, not to stand tall. We're to be smart and to be small, and to stand on our own if we did fall.
Being a person that was from the outside and then just trying to find my ways inside of Canada, navigating, what it means to be Canadian.
You heard them guns shooting, you heard them scream, how, what a truce moving. You heard the bombs drop, while they still looting. You watch them blown to bits, but your legs moving.
My parents had explained to me a lot of pain in their life prior to moving to Canada. So a lot of things like losing their family, losing their friends, watching, most of them die right in front of them. I'll forever be grateful to my parents for, having gone through it and having, being here, still living with those traumas, but still putting a smile on their own faces to just show up for their children.
From the womb to the tomb, I just hope we've made enough room. I just know that our demons still loom. I just hope that you don't consume. From the womb to the tomb, I just hope that we feel enough soon. I just hope that we all come in tune. I just hope when I smile at you, that one day you're smiling back too.
And you can read more about our Asian Heritage Month series at cbc.ca/sask. That's it for us tonight. You can also find news there anytime or subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel or download the CBC News app on your phone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.